This whole question is dealing with stats and probability. So for the first part 9A, there's a bit of sets and probability inside. Okay, so the sets part I think is quite easy. So you make sure you write out the universal set. Make sure from the universal set you list out the element of A, and take note that prime number doesn't start from 1. So in fact, 1 is not a prime number. So the smallest prime number starts from 2 onwards. And then, so this is the part that a lot of people can make mistake. Then list out the factors based on the universal set. Multiples of 3 will be quite easy. Okay, so the first part, A prime, is just the element that is not in A. So that one will be quite easy. I think most of you will know how to do. The strategy is not to be careless. So what I usually do will be something like this. So this is a 2. I cancel from the universal set. So I cancel from the universal set. Whatever left will be my A prime. Okay, so don't make this kind of careless mistake. So that is A prime. Okay, then the next one, you are supposed to list the elements in A union B complement. So first of all, list out your A union B first. Union means you combine. So I'm going to list out my A union B. I list out my A union B. Please don't repeat the element. So I will usually list out. Then after list out, I will cancel away from the universal. And then whatever left, 4, 8, 9, 12, 14 will be the complement. So that's how I will do it to make sure there's no careless mistake. Then the last part, maybe some of you can be confused. So we're going to choose the number from the set. So if you're going to choose the number from the set, you need to know how many are there. So you need to know how many elements first. If you got the number of elements wrong, then your probability will not be correct. So you need to union B and C first. So make sure you union B and C without repeating the element. So you union them first. Don't repeat the element. And subsequently go and count the number of elements. So there are 9. So you are choosing a number from 9 numbers. So you are going to choose from these 9 numbers. So the denominator will be 9. And how many will not belong to C? C will have 5 elements. So if you look here, C has 5 elements. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So this will belong to C. So the one that doesn't belong to C will be those other 4 elements. That's why it's 4/9. Okay, so this part is still pretty easy unless you forgot the symbol. Okay, this part is very plain. It's also not difficult. You just need to read carefully. Sometimes it's English that's being involved. Okay, so there's a group of 30 students. Okay, so look at the question first. Like for example, the first part. One of the students who study French is chosen. That means, right, you are choosing from the French student. So you are choosing from the French student. You got 15 to choose from. And how many will also study Spanish? So out of the 15 here, these are the 8 that also study Spanish. So that's how I gotten the probability, 8/15. Okay, so read carefully. Then the second one, you are going to choose 2 students. And where are you choosing from? You are choosing from the student who studies Spanish. Okay, you are choosing from these 20 people. That's why my denominator is 20. So I'm choosing from the 20 students here. So there are 20 students who study Spanish. Okay, then find the probability both study Spanish, but not French. So both of them study Spanish, but they are not studying French. So I'm targeting at these 12 students here. So out of the 20, I'm targeting these 12 students. So I want both of them to be from these 12 students. That's why it's 12. After you take out the first person, you are left with 11. And the total is also decreased. So that's how I process this probability. Then the next one, 3 students is chosen from the whole group. Whole group, that means there are 30 students. So you got 3 students that you are choosing. Okay, so I'm going to erase off this part. Okay, and then out of the 3, right, only one of them studied Spanish. So the implication will be the rest will study French, Spanish and French, or rather Spanish and not Spanish. So I am targeting this. So only one of them can come from these 20 people. So only one of them out of the 3 can be from these 20 people. Then versus the other one here. That means the other 2 person must be from the not Spanish group. Okay, so not Spanish group. I write it as French. So these are the 3 cases. So the first case, the first guy is someone who do the Spanish. And then subsequently, the other 2 guys are French. So Spanish, French, French. Second one, the Spanish guy appear on the second person. The Spanish guy appear as the second person. So the first 2 are French. So thirdly, the Spanish guy happens at the last person. So when you choose until the third guy, then the Spanish guy happen. Okay, so this will be the 3 cases. You need to be able to list out that 3 cases logically. So out of the 3, only one do Spanish. So there's one Spanish guy versus the non-Spanish guy. So I just put the non-Spanish guy as French to make things easier. Okay, so that means I got 3 cases to add up. Okay, so each of the case, right, I'm going to put it in this way. So each of the guy, I'm going to put it in this way first. Because after I choose out, right, the total will, sorry, it's not 20, it's 30. So each of the case, I'm choosing from 30 students. But each person that I take out will decrease the denominator. So if you take a look, all my 3 cases got the same denominator. So all my 3 cases got the same denominator. So I will just fix the denominator first. So that will be the same denominator for all the 3 cases. Then you think about how many Spanish guys are there. There are 20. And how many non-Spanish guys? We start from 10 and then we get 1 less. Then how many non-Spanish guy? I start with 10. Then how many Spanish guy? 20. And then because I already take 1 non-Spanish out, so the next one will be a 9. So it's the same thing. So I got 10 non-Spanish to start with. Then after that, I'm left with 9. I still got 20 Spanish guy to start with. So the numerator is just playing or just like reshuffling, but the denominator is fixed. So there are 3 cases out of the 3 students that will match this condition. So 3 students, only 1 Spanish. So list out the cases in a very logical way, list out the cases. List out the cases and investigate each case and then you add them up. And because this is without replacement, you can handle the idea with the denominator first. So essentially don't need to go and draw three diagrams. So some of you, if you are thinking like, oh, that this one is choosing three students, that means I must draw three diagram, three layer. That's going to be very time consuming. It's not going to be worth it for 2 months. So you should simplify things and think of it this way.